Hello, I'm Dr. Chris Gittoes from Northwest Family Medical, and coming to you today on the My Gunnedah website. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about how to survive the Australian summer heat. So the first thing I'd suggest is that you get yourself well informed, and one of the best places for information on this and many health topics is the New South Wales Health website. And on that site they've got a place called Beat the Heat, and certainly gives a comprehensive rundown on the best strategies to avoid getting crook as a result of the heat. But I'll give you a brief rundown on it at this stage. So how to survive an Australian summer. It's pretty simple. There are 4 components to how to survive, and the first one, of course, is drinking plenty of water. The next one is keeping cool. The next one, is also very important, is looking after your friends. And the last one is to plan for contingencies. So drinking water. It might sound simple, but it is relatively simple. You just need to drink enough water to keep yourself well hydrated. And how do you judge that? Well, there's no magic formula as to how much water someone should drink. It very much depends on the person involved, so their age and their medical conditions and their activity and their environment. So it depends on the environment they're in and the work they're doing. So someone sitting in front of an air conditioner at home with plenty of cold water is probably not going to get dehydrated. But someone that's a brickies labourer working in 39 degrees heat all day has really got to watch out. So, but as I say, there's no specific formula. You just really have to know that you need to keep yourself hydrated, and don't just rely on thirst. Drink if you're out doing stuff, activities outside or even in hot inside. You need to be ahead of your water requirements, but by drinking a little bit more than you think you need probably. That will of course depend on your medical condition, so it depends on the individual. Age is really important, and pre-existing medical conditions, and sometimes the medications that people are on will determine how much water they can or can't drink. So if you've got any queries about that, go and see your GP and just get a bit of a plan put in place. So what are the effects of dehydration in the summer heat? Well, there's a range of effects that can get to us when we're not drinking enough water on a hot day, and they range from just mild dehydration to the very serious medical emergency we refer to as heat stroke. So what symptoms are you looking for, or signs are you looking for if you think you might be getting dehydrated? The first one, of course, is thirst, but as I said, you can't rely on that because it usually comes after you're a little bit dehydrated. Thirst, dizziness, headache, irritability. Sometimes you might lose your appetite, and sometimes you might feel faint. But one of the things that we can all notice if we care to look is urine colour. So if your urine gets dark, that's a good sign that you're dehydrating because it's concentrated. That can also happen if you're on various types of vitamin supplements, and some food components of food can do that. But generally, it's not a bad way to judge your level of hydration. And in fact, on the New South Wales website, they've actually got a urine chart, so it might be worth having a look at. So dehydration is the first component. If you get a bit more than just dehydrated, you can get cramps, and cramps are cramps, so there's not much you can do about it. You just need to drink some water, get yourself cool. If you've got a cramp, you need to massage it. If that's not helping, then you need to seek some medical advice. The next one is heat exhaustion. That's probably the more serious step towards heat stroke. And with heat exhaustion, you get pretty unwell, and you're breathing heavily. You're sweating heavily. Your skin's often cool and moist just because it is sweating a lot. Your skin will get pale. Your pulse rate will go up. Your breathing rate, in fact, is fast and a little bit shallow, and you might get muscle weakness, tiredness, irritability, behavioural sort of problems, all the things that go with dehydration and worse. And then the last one, if you get really dehydrated, and this usually doesn't happen, and it's not just dehydration, it's also body temperature. If your body temperature gets above about 40.5 degrees centigrade, you get really crook. And in that case, your skin gets red and dry because you can't sweat anymore. Your tongue gets dry and swollen, You get rapid shallow breathing, you become nauseous and vomiting, and you can have a seizure and fall flaps into a coma. And as I said, that's a medical emergency. And in all these situations, if you're not sure, you need to seek help. But certainly in the last two, you need to go and ring the emergency department, ring 000. So we spoke about your environment. Well, again, if just like to reiterate, you can't necessarily know how much to drink. If you're out in the hot weather playing sport, working, you need to drink more. If you're inside, air conditioning, you need to drink not quite as much. The body can lose about, in the worst situation, can lose about 15 litres a day from sweat. So that's a lot of water, and you're actually flat out drinking that much water to keep up with it. But you can get water in your system by drinking, by eating lots of salads. And that's probably the two main ways to get water. And the last thing is planning. So if you're planning a road trip, or if you're planning to go out and a bushwalk, or if you're just if you know it's going to be really hot, and you might have air conditioning at home, or you might be might have plenty of water, but you need to plan for what if something goes wrong. What if your air conditioning breaks down, and what if your elderly neighbour is crook? So you just need to use a bit of forethought. If your air conditioner breaks down, you can always go to the public shopping centre or somewhere like that, or go to a cinema or somewhere where at least you'll be cool for the afternoon. It's also important, if you're doing activities during the hot weather, to plan those activities. So it's really cool between sunset and about 9 o'clock. So it's a good time to do physical work. If you're working around your house, work on the western side of the house in the morning in the shade, and the eastern side in the afternoon. Just simple stuff like that. But I just like to reiterate, you need to drink plenty of water, you need to stay cool, you need to keep an eye on other people, particularly elderly people and infants, and you need to plan. So I hope you enjoy your summer, and at Northwest Family Medical, we hope you all have a safe and happy Christmas, and see you next year. Thank you.